Yeah, we about to get this thing started. It's Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. We're going to talk about some ways that we can get a little bit of financial freedom. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's why we're here to share. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We made it. We made it through another full week. We are on the other side of that thing. You know what I'm saying? We're getting ready for the weekend. And it's Freedom Friday right here on the Noontime My Time Podcast. I'm MsTONYA. And today I want to just go ahead and get it on out the way and say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God I'm fabulous. And I wanted to share with you guys and kind of have just a brief conversation. We're not going to be in here too long today, but I want to have a brief conversation about some money hacks, some life and money hacks. Like, do you guys have some ways and methods that you have that you know works, or really that work for you that you could share and maybe we could think about and maybe we might want to use? Because when it comes to freedom, I don't know what you guys have in mind, and you can let me know. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd like you guys to go ahead and comment where you're from. Let me know where you are. Let me know where you're at on this beautiful Friday. Where I am, it happens to be cloudy. It's a little overcast, but still, it's a beautiful day. But I want you guys to share some of those hacks, some of those life hacks and money hacks that it may seem simple, it may seem small, but it works because it's allowing you to do a little bit of saving. Let me know. So I'm waiting for you guys to come on in. I want a few people to come on in and let me know where you're from. Comment where you are from on this Friday. Let a sister know. I want to know. I see we got somebody in here, and you know who it is. I think y'all know who it is. Hey, Tori. Keep the faith with Tori. She's in D-Town, and she tells you guys happy Friday. D-Town, how you feeling on this Friday? Good to have you in the building, Tori. Always good to have you in the building. Today, we're talking about some life hacks, some things that we can do, little things, whatever it is that we feel can help somebody save a little bit of money, or some type of life hack that helps you in some type of way. I see we got Diane Myers in the building. How you doing? Hope you're feeling good today. Hope you are feeling good on this Freedom Friday. And she is in Timminsville, letting you guys know that she's in Timminsville, South Carolina. How y'all feeling? I got one of my favorite farmers over there in Timminsville. Yeah, I like to go to the farmer's market. I'll probably go in the morning as well. Over in T-ville. Oh, yeah. So, guys, listen. Here's the thing. A lot of people are out here seeking freedom. They want freedom. And I don't know what freedom means to you. Everybody has their own interpretation. But if you want to let me know in the comment, like, just some things that you think about when it relates to freedom, to your personal freedoms. What is it that you want to make you feel free? Now, there's a whole lot of things that we could discuss. This conversation could be very broad, but I do know this. I know when you are able to provide for yourself and your family and you have some type of financial freedom, that is a freedom. And that's one of them that I want us to discuss today. I think it's a very, very good topic. So we're going to dive into like some of our personal finance, uncover some of these secrets to financial independence. It's episode 68. of the Noontime My Time Podcast. This is Freedom Friday, and we are talking about the state of savings. The state of savings. How much, we're going to talk about how much you guys think. Think about this. How much do you think the average working class American have in savings? Think about it. What do you think? I want to know what some of those numbers are. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So while we get ready to get into the conversation, and before we get too deep into the conversation, you know what we got to do? We got to do that little bit of breath work. That's what I want us to do, because we are reclaiming our time, taking that time for ourselves to do something good for ourselves so that we feel good. All right, let's get into it. What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale, and we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. I don't want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't that feel great? It's Freedom Friday. You've got the right to be free. You do. But what do you want to be free from? And what does freedom mean to you? It could mean a whole lot of things. It really could. But today we're going to be talking about some of those money saving hacks, because we want to have a bit of financial freedom. When you've got like a whole heavy load and a big burden on your shoulders as it relates to money and finance, you can't think about a whole lot. And you certainly don't feel free. So I want us to get in here and discuss with each other just a few things that we do or that we can do to save a nickel here, save a dime there, because believe it or not, every cent counts. People think that they can't save money, and we can. There are several ways that we can do it. You know it. And I want to say this because I was curious. And you guys know that I'm always curious about things. And when I get curious, I get my fingers in here. I get to type in, and I want to look things up. So I had to do a little digging because I wanted to know the average amount of savings that the average working class person in America might have. So I did that. And let me just read this here to you, okay? According to Bankrate, the average amount of savings can vary widely among working class Americans as it depends on factors such as income, age, location, and individual financial circumstances. According to a survey conducted by Bankrate in 2020, around 20% of Americans reported having no savings at all. Y'all hear that? Over 21% reported that they had no savings at all. And that can be shocking, but honestly, at the same time, it's not shocking because it's rough out here. It's rough. A lot of people are working paycheck to paycheck. People are trying to make ends meet. I think the shocking part for me was the the number, 21%. And it also goes to say that 28% had less than $1,000 in savings. 28% had less than $1,000 in savings. The survey also revealed that only 16% of respondents had savings exceeding $10,000. And so I wanted to know, okay, well, how can we at least have that $1,000 in savings? Because if there's 28% of people who have less than $1,000, how can we at least save $1,000? And what would it take for us to save $1,000 within a year? Do we think that we can do that? And then with the 16% of the people who actually responded to the survey, they had at least $10,000 and exceeded $10,000 in savings. And I wanted to know if we could do that. So, we got to get into it and figure it out. Can we get a little math going? Can we do that? I see we've got Diane Myers in here. She says to be honest with yourself. Say no harm when need to. Don't emotionally buy. Make a plan. Anything more than a few $100s needs a plan. I like that. I like what she's saying here. You guys let me know some of the things that you do that make you feel free, some little life hacks, some things that help you with your financial freedom. Let me know, because these are a couple good ones. People are always telling you that you should make a plan. People are always saying that you should have a budget. And I don't know that many of us really make budgets. And if we make budgets, do we really stick to the budget? That can be it could be a drooling task. It could be. No one likes to do that. But I also say, if you don't want to be so hard on yourself and you really don't want to make a budget, okay, well, maybe you don't have to. But I feel like you can definitely make some type of mental budget. I like the idea that Diane here says you got to make a plan for anything that you're going to spend over a few $100s. Because you should make a decision when you're making big purchases. That shouldn't be an emotional buy. I like that you said don't emotional buy. If you're out here and you're just wandering around and you end up buying something that you don't need that costs more than a few $100s, why? Why are you doing that? You got to ask yourself that. Ask yourself that question. So, a few money hacks to financial freedom. I want to talk about a few. I want to get in here and talk about a few that I feel work, that I feel like, I've been able to implement in my life. And so I want to share mine and you guys share yours, and together we can figure out how we can save at least. Let's talk about how we can save $1,000. But can we really save $10,000? I want to talk about that because it might be more obtainable than you think. One thing that you can do is automate your savings. Automate your savings. Consider setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account into your savings account. I really think a lot of people should consider that. Why? Because if you leave it up to yourself to make that deposit into your savings, you just might not do it. You just might not do it. So if you can set that up, let that automatically come out of your checking account every month, I think that's going to work for you. Certainly will work. And you got to track your spending. You do. Track your spending. Some people use budgeting apps. Some people use spreadsheets. But let's be honest. A lot of us don't. But you can keep a mental note of what you're buying. And especially if you just break it down to the day. Think about, what am I spending money on today? Every time you're about to spend money, every time you're about to swipe that card. And see, swiping these cards make it a whole lot easier to spend money than it did when we were actually using cash. Because when you have actual cash in your hand and you're taking that cash out and you're looking in your wallet and you're watching your wallet shrink, you might reconsider. But when you're just swiping that card and you're not thinking and you're doing some type of emotional buying and purchasing, listen, your money is just like leaving that account and you're not even aware. You don't even know where your money is going. You need to keep track of your money. And you can do that mentally because you can do that on a daily basis. You can do that daily. You can do that hourly. Whenever you step out of your house, whenever you go somewhere, pay attention. Do I need this? Keep that card in your wallet. Keep it in your pocket. Keep it in your purse if you don't need it. All right? And be mindful of your long-term goals. If you're not going to set a budget, and I'm being honest because I'm talking about people and I'm talking to people who don't have budgets. We know it to be true, but at least be mindful of your goals. You have to consider how spending money today will affect your financial future and make choices that align with your long-term goals. You just got to do it. You got to be tough on yourself. You understand? You got to be tough on yourself. I see Keep the Faith with Tori. She says, I'm listening. Listen, I'm glad that you guys are in here. I want all of us to figure out ways to save an extra dollar. If we don't have to be out here spending, let's not. Times out here are not the easiest. All right. And I see Miss Gloria here in the comments. Right here in the comments. She says, I had the hardest time saving money. When I got in my 40s, my friend asked me, are you saving all of your money in the same bank? I said, yes. She said, get more than one bank account. I did so. I use one bank account for my bills and the other accounts are my savings. That helped me a lot. And I don't have a debit card for my savings. And of course, I use a spreadsheet. All right, Miss Gloria. Miss Gloria got a lot of nuggets in here. Listen, she got a whole lot of nuggets in here. I gotta go to this. Because this works. You shouldn't have all of your money in the same bank account. Or at the same bank, I should say. Get another one. You certainly shouldn't have it all in the same bank account, but have more than one bank. You know? And she did that. She set up a different account for her bills, and then her other money went into the savings. And something very key that I like in here, she says, I don't have a debit card for my savings. That right there, that is going to save you a lot of money. Don't have access to it. When you stash that into your savings account, don't even think about it. Use what you have to use for your monthly expenses from your checking account. And so when we talked about if, you want to set up like an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings, that works. Do that. But I like what Miss Gloria said here. She said, don't have a debit card for your savings because then you won't be tempted to use it.
MsTONYA,
You won't.
have a call on line 1.
I got people in here calling me.
You have a call?
I forgot to turn my phone off and put it on silent. It's all good. It's all good. Whoever it is, we'll get back to him. All right. I see Keep the Faith with Tori. She agrees with me here. She says, yes, Miss Gloria, so much wisdom. It is. I like that. And I like that she said, she let us know that she started this in her 40s because people often think that it might be too late to do things. And it's not. It's not. You can get on the road to some financial freedom in your 40s and your 50s. It's never too late to course correct. And in fact, it is a good age to course correct because the years will continue to go by. And if you hadn't been doing it, there will be no time like the present to start. So if you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, don't be hard on yourself. Start saving, right? Keep Your Faith for Tori says, I don't have a debit card for my savings either. You can't do that. If you do, I promise you, you will swipe that card. You will. I see Keep the Faith for Tori says, MsTONYA, you have a call on line 1. Don't pick at me. Don't pick at me. Yeah, my phone was ringing right in the middle of the podcast. It happens. It happens. Y'all know it. So we're talking about financial freedom. How can we save some money? You got to be mindful of your goals. Keep your goal in mind. So always consider whatever you're spending each day. Consider how that is going to affect your future and make choices that align with your goals, right? This is one. You know it. Prioritize your spending. Decide what expenses are more and most important and allot your money accordingly. You got to do it. What is the most important thing on your list? What are the most important things on your budget? What do you have to get done each month? Allot that accordingly. It sounds like something, okay. Sounds like something we all know. We've all heard before. But that doesn't mean we can't hear it again. We need these friendly reminders because we're trying to do something different. We're trying to save money. We want to save because we haven't been as successful as we'd like to be. Don't be so hard on yourself if you got a few $100s. We talked about what bank rate survey let us know in terms of people, and what was the year again? Let me read back through this. I want to read this again for people who may just be tuning in, because this is why we're having this conversation. The reason we're having the conversation is this, all right? The average amount of savings varies among working class Americans, and it depends on different factors such as income, age, location, and individual financial circumstances. According to a survey conducted by Bankrate in 2020, around 21% of working Americans reported having no savings at all. No savings, guys, 21%, while 28% had less than $1,000 in savings. The survey also revealed that only 16% of the respondents had savings that exceeded over $10,000. It's important to note that these figures are general estimates, and they may not reflect the current state of what's going on in our economy right now, because things are very difficult, particularly for the working class American, that American who is working paycheck to paycheck. So economic conditions and personal financial habits, all of those are other factors that significantly impact everyone's individual savings level. But I feel like there are some small things that we can do and some small savings that we can have in our daily and monthly life, that at the end of the year, we could really have some money. Because I remember when my daughter was in undergrad, and I was talking to her and a couple of her friends, and I was telling them, I was like, here's what I want you guys to know about saving a little money. And I mean saving a little money. Here's how you can at least save $1,000. And I was telling this to young people. They were like 18, 19 years old. Because there's things that you're doing out here that you don't have to do. That might cost you $5 here, a little $5 there, something costs $10. But if you save $20 a week, $20 a week, okay? That's like a little over $3. We can do the math and get it all technical, but let's just do a rough estimate. A day, there's something that you're doing a day that might cost $3 that you don't have to do, which means you can save that $20 in a week. And if you save $20 a week, you're going to have $1,000 at the end of the year. I mean, things are so expensive now, you could almost mindlessly save $20 a week. Literally, you could. You could save $20 a week in a sock, in a coffee can, in a jar. You really could. There's something that you don't have to do. And make it a game for yourself if you want to do that. Make it a game. Like, you want that coffee, or you go to Starbucks, you want that coffee, or you want that muffin. And I'm going to tell you something, it's going to cost more than $5. And so if you thought about it and you thought that you wanted it, and then you made the decision to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Still take that money that you were going to spend because you wanted to get it and stash that away. And you know what your habit is, so you might know how much it costs. If it's $5, if it's $8, $10, whatever your bill would typically come to, you take that money and you stash that. Just like if you'd really gone to Starbucks and just like you really bought it. If you're driving and you're feeling a little hungry and you're like, you know what? I feel like it's a little bow time and you want to go get you some fried chicken from Bojangles. All right? But you know what? You can say, you know what? No, I don't need the Bojangles. I want it, but I don't need it. Don't let me go home and cook. I got something in the refrigerator. Let me warm some leftovers. What? Make that decision. And then you go home and eat, right? But the amount of money that you were going to spend at Bojangles, which you were going to spend, take that and stash it. Now, I don't know what that amount is because I don't know if you're getting a 3-piece, a 2-piece, a snack. I don't know if you're getting a biscuit. I don't know if they got a deal. But I promise you, it could be up to $10 or more. Take that and stash it and do that. You'd be really surprised how much money you have at the end of the year. And don't even count it. Don't count it. Just make sure that you know that you're putting that money there. You said that you're going to at least save $20 a week. Make sure you put that $20 in there. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't put more. Make the commitment to do the 20, but if you decided that you were going to go to Starbucks, stash that cash. If you wanted to go to Bojangles and you really was disciplined and didn't go, stash that cash. And so then you've got more than the $20 that you made a commitment to. It adds up. It really does. It adds up. So do that. Prioritize that thing. All right. So prioritize your spending. Decide which expenses are most important and allot the money accordingly. And let's do some math here. I told you how we could save that $1,000. That's just $20 a week. But if you want to raise the ante, if you want to know, can you save $10,000 in a year? Well, let me tell you, yes, you can. And in some ways that you may not have thought about. How can you save $10,000 in a year? It sounds like a lot. It does. $30 a day. If you spend $30 a day differently and save that $30 or make you an extra $30 a day, but you get that $30, at the end of 1 year, you will have $10,000. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. And if you don't make it every day, at least you get close. At least you saved more if you didn't make the plan to do it. So do the math. Think about this. And these are just some ideas, right? Make your own coffee. Make your own coffee. You can save yourself about $5 a day, maybe from $3 to $5, depending on where you get it from. We're just doing some rough estimates here. But you really can save $3 to $5 and even more, because some people you getting the frappuccino, the this with the whipped cream, the ice, the lattes. I don't even know what you call them because I'm not really a coffee drinker. But make your own coffee. If you got to have coffee, make your own coffee. You can save at least $5 a day. This next one, stop buying clothes. Listen to me. Listen to my voice. Listen to me. Stop buying clothes, because you don't need any more clothes. You don't need any more clothes. You don't need any more shoes. You don't need it. You don't need it, and you know you don't need it. So stop buying clothes. You can save at least $5 a day right there. I broke it down to the day because I know you're not buying $5 of clothes every day, but within a month, if we want to break it down, you probably would have spent more than $5 a day on something. A blouse, some jeans, some shoes, something that you don't really need. All right? And take your lunch to work. Take your lunch to work. You can save $10, at least $10 a day right there. Right there, you can save at least $10 a day. Take your lunch to work. Take it. All right? I see we got Keep the Faith with Tori in here. She said, Tanya, I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna buy something for Fantasia and Joe, but I said to myself, girl, you better look in that closet. Exactly. And I'm proud to hear you say that because, Fantasia and Joe concert coming up, and we do this all the time. Like we're going to go out, we're going to a concert or some type of outing or whatever the case may be. And every time we go somewhere, and we have to pay to go to these places because the concert, you've got to buy a ticket. So that has a cost. And then you feel like you got to have a new outfit. Do you really? Do you? No, you don't. Because everybody who's going to that concert, they're not going to see you. They're going to see Joe and Fantasia. They are. Just look good and feel good and get in there and sing the songs and be happy and enjoy yourself. But enjoy yourself knowing that, hey, I saved just a little bit of money because I didn't get a new outfit that I didn't need. You ain't on stage. You're not performing. You dig what I'm saying? All right. That's a good one, Tori. And eat out less. You guys know that. Eat out less. That's the same thing. Take your lunch to work and eating out less. That kind of falls within the same category, but it does and it doesn't because a lot of people will eat out when they go, they'll eat out for lunch and they'll still go out for dinner. So eat out less. I didn't say not at all. It says eat out less. You can save at least $5 a day. You can. You can do that. And get a side hustle. Get you a side hustle. Find you a side hustle that you can make you at least about $5 a day. Now, like I said, we're breaking this thing down into a day because I want you to see how that can work. But I mean, $5 a day, a month, that's about $150. Find you a side hustle that you can make at least $5 a day. And then let's do the math for everything these are just some things that we can do. You guys can give me some ideas of other things that we can do to make this math. But let's do this math of what we have here. All of this comes up to $30 a day in your pocket from not buying coffee, not buying clothes, taking your lunch to work, eating out less, and finding you some type of little side hustle. You got you $30 a day. Now, if you do that math and you can make that $30 a day and chunk that into a savings, that is $10,000. It's doable, y'all. We can do it. You can do it. How many of you think that even if you don't get to the $10,000 goal, do you feel like with some of these things you can get close? Can you really save $10,000 in just 1 year? Yeah, you can. We just broke it down. We just shared some money saving hacks. These hacks can help you supercharge your savings, and I feel like I want you guys to at least challenge yourself to do something. Do some of these things. It's going to make a difference. These are things that I do. I love it. Like I said, make it a game for yourself. Every time I feel like I want to do something that, and then in the back of my mind, like, nah, I don't really need to spend the money on that. I take that money and I chuck it aside. I love doing that. But let me ask this question. I got you guys in here and you're listening. Do you feel like saving $10,000 in a year is realistic for everyone? That's a big question. That's a big question, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think it's realistic? That's what I want to know. Do you think saving $10,000 in a year is realistic for everyone? If you think it is, you can just say yes. If you don't, say no. We can talk about it. Do you think that's realistic? Because we need to think about saving something. I'd rather people at least try to reach that goal and fall short and say you've got, 5,000, or even if you got 3,000, that's better than not having anything. And I don't know. You don't know what's going to come up. You really don't. So whether you're saving money for a down payment for something, if you're saving money for an emergency plan, for a vacation, this is what this conversation is about. I want you to think about some things that are going to help make you save a little bit of cash, and do it in a fun way. Do it in a way that is really doable, because you can do these things. Let me know. Do you guys think it's realistic for people to save $10,000 in a year? Do you? And what are some tips? What are some money saving tips that you guys do? Okay, we had some comments earlier, having a plan, creating a budget. We know that. If you set a budget, when you set a budget, that outlines your monthly income and your expenses. So you're able to track what you're spending, and then you can identify the areas where you need to cut back. That's always good. It doesn't have to be anything outrageous. It can be very simple. It doesn't even have to be a spreadsheet. It can be the old school way. I learned this one from my grandma. My grandma had a pad, just like a little notepad, right? A little spiral notepad. And she just wrote what her bills, what she had to pay on one side and how much it was, how much she was paying, and did the math. And it was simple. And it wasn't a laundry list of stuff. It was the basic things that she needed. Her light bill, her gas bill, whatever credit cards she had to pay. Just the simple things. And that's what you can do. You put your rent on there, your mortgage, wherever you're at. So set a budget. Outline your monthly expenses. You need to look at that. Because when you can track what you're spending, when you can identify where your money is going, then you're going to know how to cut back. You can see where you can cut back. So you can cut back from those unnecessary expenses. Review your expenses and find areas where you can make cuts. Cancel unused subscriptions. Cancel all those subscriptions to things that you've got like automatically coming out of your bank account that you're not paying attention to every month and that you're not really using or utilizing on a daily basis. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. We talked about reducing, eating out, prioritizing, what we consider essential purchases. Can't be out here just buying and making emotional purchases. Meal planning. Simple enough. That's exactly what it is. Plan your meals in advance. And make a shopping list. If you make a shopping list before you go into the grocery store, you're going to be very intentional about the things that you buy. You're really going to make sure that you've got things to prepare for those meals. And you don't have to worry about overspending. You're not just throwing stuff into a buggy. So plan your meals in advance. Make a shopping list accordingly. Buy the things that you need to make that meal. And some of them are going to cross over into other meals. So that's going to be great for you too. Cooking at home can save you a lot of money. You know it, compared to eating out. And especially if you eat out regularly. If you call yourself not liking to cook. You better learn to like. I don't see why people aren't cooking more, especially because there's cooking shows now. You get to go online. You can go on YouTube and get people are showing you how to prepare meals. Make it fun. Make it fun for yourself. And if you have a kid, get them in the kitchen. Put your phone on the counter and pay attention and cook the meal. Use coupons. Shop for discounts. Take advantage of those things. Take advantage of coupons and discounts wherever you're shopping. If that's for groceries, clothes, whatever it is. I always want a deal. Any store that I go into, trust me, I go to the clearance first. I go and I shop on the clearance rack big time. I don't know what people might see that I might have on that they might like. Trust me, I probably got it off the clearance rack because I know myself. You know, I just have a pride in knowing that I paid the least amount of money for something. And shop at those thrift stores. And this is a good one too. We got to reduce our energy consumption. Lower your energy bills. While you're in the house and got all the lights on, turn the lights off. If you're not using the lights, turn them off. Adjust your thermostat accordingly. Do it. Buy secondhand, just like I said. Go to thrift stores. Nothing wrong with secondhand items. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Especially when it comes to clothing, furniture, even electronics. And there's thrift stores everywhere. They've got online markets. People are selling things online. They don't need it anymore. So they're selling it to you and it's secondhand, but it's something good. You need it. You could use it and you can get it at a better price than if you bought it new. So they have a whole lot of groups for that. There's like community groups online and marketplaces online. Use those, right? And think about this. Another money-saving tip and hack. Do some things yourself. Do some things yourself. Like really get into some DIY projects. It's so much easier to get into DIY projects now because we've got information right at the tip of our fingers. I promise you, almost anything that you want to do, any home project that you think that you want to do, I'm almost guaranteeing that somebody on YouTube has done it. And not only have they done it, but they're also showing you how to do it. See, you know, I don't just watch YouTube or these platforms because I feel like I want to laugh. Like they are learning tools as well, guys. You do know that you can learn stuff off of it. You can learn how to do things. You can. One year I changed the pull on my lawnmower. It broke. And I could have taken it to get fixed, right? Pay someone to fix it. Someone who actually knew what they were doing. But I don't know. For some reason, I said, well, you know what? It's already broken. I'm going to go online and see, what it takes. How difficult would it be to really do this? And if I can really do it. So I went online and I watched a video. Then I watched another one because I watch a couple different ones because sometimes, someone might be able to show it to me in a different way that I could connect to. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I think I can do this. So the lawnmower's already broke. So that means I can't break it. So I have nothing to lose by trying to fix this thing. So I go buy the part that I need, which let me also tell you, I bought that and I got it on sale. So I spent a few dollars for the part, right? Come back home, get my phone, go to the YouTube videos that's showing me how to change this thing, and I do it. And it worked. So now I feel like, hey, I'm a lawnmower mechanic now. Fix my own lawnmower. And that's for anything. I took my ceiling fan lights, my ceiling fans down and changed them out and changed lighting. So many things that I've done because I watched it on YouTube, paid attention, followed the directions. Yeah, saved myself some money. So watch those tutorials. They're very resourceful. And they're all available online. So think about doing some, do-it-yourself projects instead of, paying for repairs that minor things. We're talking about minor home improvements and minor little repairs, I would have never tried to fix it if something was wrong with the engine, because really that would be too much for me. I see we got Derek in here with us today. How you doing, Derek? Always good to have you come in. Always have some thoughtful things to bring to us. Derek says, I learned how to save when I started writing out my bills every month. What I found was there was gaps in the month where I had nothing to pay, so I took that money and paid a bill, car note, for the following month. Oh, man, that's a good one. That's a very good one. You're right, because most of us get paid a couple times a month. The average person, well, let's just say some people get paid a couple times a month. Some people get paid weekly, some bi-weekly, some monthly. But he's right. There was a time, if you write that thing down, if you write your bills out, you've got it in front of you. You can look at it so you see what you're spending. And so he said he found that there were gaps in the month where he had nothing to pay. So he took that extra money and paid it on a bill. So he was able to pay his car note off quicker. That's nice hack, man. Thanks for sharing that. Do that. And also, when we are out here buying things, here's another hack. Negotiate. Negotiate these prices. Do not be afraid to negotiate prices when making big purchases or signing up for any type of services. I am trying to get a deal. I want a deal, and I am definitely going to negotiate no matter what it is. You might be surprised at some discounts that you will be able to get simply by asking. You'll never know if you don't ask. You got to. That's a hack. So you're going to save some money there, right? We talked about the automatic saving. You got to set up that transfer from your checking into your savings account, because if you leave it in that checking account and you've got that debit card, you just out here swiping. Listen, you won't get anything into that savings account. So do that. And no number, we can't tell you what that number should be. If you decide that you want to do an automatic transfer of $100 a month into your savings account, that's your business. It can be 50. It can be 20. But it needs to be something, right? Because we want to get some savings going. We want to have a little nest egg. We want to have a little emergency fund. Or we might want to have a little vacation fund. Whatever reason that you want to use that money after you've saved it, right? And I guess, guys, at the end of the day, I want you to stay motivated. Stay motivated. If you fall short on one particular month, don't give up. Stay motivated. Pick it back up. Keep your financial goal in mind. And if you keep your goal in mind, that's why you need to have a goal. Because if you have a goal, that's going to help you stay motivated. And then you can reward yourself for reaching your milestone. You can celebrate your progress, whatever it takes. But remember, saving money is a long-term endeavor. All right? It's important to balance yourself. So have you a little balance between being, a little frugal, or shall I say fiscally responsible, and still enjoy your life. You can do that. We can do that. I want us to be able to do it. So we talked about saving at least $20 a week so that we can have $1,000 at the end of the year. We can do that. That's obtainable. I really think all of us could obtain that. Whether or not everyone can do the 10 grand, I don't know, but I think we can definitely set that goal. It's easier than you think, but you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. All right. I had fun here, guys. I like sharing little tips. Thank you, everybody who had a little bit to share with us. I I like what Diane Myers had to say. She said, don't make emotional purchases. Don't make those. Make a plan. All right? Make that plan. And you should have a plan if you're going to spend money on anything over a few $100s. I like that. Miss Gloria Anderson, she told us, make sure that you have a separate account and maybe even a separate bank, right? One for your bills, another account for your savings. That's going to help you. And do not have a debit card for your savings account. You don't need to be taking it out. You don't. And I really like this one that Derek shared with us. He said, write those bills out. Write them out every month because you really need to see it in front of you. And when you see that in front of you and you realize, okay, well, I've already paid this for the month and you got another check, you've got some gaps. He said, what I found was there were gaps in the month where you had nothing to pay. And all of us have that. We all have that. But the only way that you're going to know that is if you write that out and you're able to see it. It has to be in front of your face. So what did he do with that extra money in the gap? He decided to pay down more on a particular bill, like a car note, for the following month. That helps you pay it off quicker. And if you pay it off quicker, then you're saving money because you're of interest rates, finance charges. I love it. I want to thank you guys for joining me here today. Freedom Friday on the Noontime My Time Podcast. Yeah. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God we can be in here and have conversation, that we can spark conversation and share ideas, share little hacks, little life hacks, something that's going to help us and make us better. That's what we did here today. Make sure that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Before I get out of here, you know what I got to do. You know what I always do. What I like to do, breathe it on out. Because I don't know how many of you do the breath work when we come in. I don't even know how many of you stay and do the breath work when we go out. I know some do because I do get to see the numbers and I see like when people know I'm about to wrap up, they go ahead and click on out. It's fine. But for those of you who stay, who care enough about taking that moment for yourself, I love you for that. Let's go ahead and breathe this thing out and make sure we have a great weekend. Tomorrow is June 3rd. June 3rd is a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Celebrating a birthday tomorrow. It's your girl birthday. You can tell me happy birthday. You can tell me happy birthday if you see me. You can tell me happy birthday online, however you want to do it. Or you can just feel it in your mind. I'm going to feel that power. All right? One love, y'all. Let's breathe this thing out. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. And don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. Right?